Talkin Money. And here's Jeff Tarbell.
Right. Welcome back. I enjoyed myself last night out at the Three Stages in Folsom.
Little magic show?
Yeah, what was it? It was official. It's Magic? Was that what
It's Magic.
Yeah, so that was I guess I wouldn't call myself a big Magic fan, other than I think part of it is it just irritates the crap out of me. I don't know how they do it. It's like even like the most basic little rope trip, the guy said, I learned this one when I was 6, and I'm thinking I'm 46, and I can't even figure out I can't even tie a knot, so I can't figure out how to do the rope trip. But it was that place is just phenomenal. I mean,
very nice setting.
Yeah, so Comstock was one of the sponsors of the show last night, and if you haven't been out to the Three Stages, go catch an event out there, because it shows you. The nice thing is I think that was for the most part privately funded and put together, and it's just a Class A facility. As John was saying before the show today, it was so nice not to have to drive down to Davis or have to drive to somewhere to catch a
city or something like that. Yeah,
catch a nice facility with a nice event. So anyway, we'll get to that as well. We got a couple phone lines open at 339-1140. You can text us at 44-1140. Let's get to. Looks like Annie has been patiently holding. Annie, welcome to Talkin Money. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. What's happening?
Well, I'm a real estate agent. I'm actually almost to my appointment where we're doing a 203K.
Okay.
We're hoping. So I just had some questions before I get there. The contractor's meeting me out there. We're getting a bid on what things to put on there that the FHA appraiser is going to want to see. I mean, we know the dry rot we have to put on there, the stove. But what about like breached windows, things like that? I mean, what are the things that we have to put on that contractor's bid in order to pass appraisal?
That is a long, long question. Can't you want to give her the Reader's Digest version before she runs into her appointment?
I will. So the basic part of it is that property is going to have to meet minimum HUD requirements and able to be eligible for FHA financing. And the appraiser, when they come out, is going to be fully aware of what all those requirements are. Do you happen to plan on having maybe a fee inspector or a HUD consultant coming out to the property at all?
No.
Okay.
I had a home inspection, pest inspection. I'm bringing all of that with me to the contractor today.
Excellent. And for other realtors out there, that is great advice to home inspection and pest inspection up front. To know exactly what all parties involved are getting into, so something doesn't come up after the appraisal is done, that we lose days in the transaction. So that's huge. Good move. Most of the time, if you have a fee inspector or HUD consultant come out, they're going to take a look at the property and see what is minimally required to meet HUD standards.
Is that different than what the appraiser will ask for?
It may be and it may not. I would tell you that if you get a fee inspector, HUD consultant out there, they're going to be much more thorough because that's what they do. Most appraisers that come out and do FHA appraisals are very familiar. However, they're not going to be probably as thorough as a fee consultant or a HUD inspector would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the charge for that inspection?
So fee inspector is $150, and a HUD consultant is based upon the renovation loan amount. So it's a sliding scale based upon the loan amount. Usually it's about.
Where do you get those people? Just from the lender? Would they?
Do you happen to know? Is this going to be destined as a streamlined transaction or a full 203K? Do you happen to know?
Well, I don't know what the different terms are, but it's the 30,000 cap, and we're hoping not to go over 12, really.
Okay, so that would be a streamlined K.
Okay.
So the HUD consultants you can find on the HUD website. You go to HUD.gov and just type in the search thing HUD consultant.
Okay.
They will come up with a list of them here in the area. I'm going to assume you're here in the greater Sacramento market.
Yeah.
They'll come up with a list of HUD consultants. You can give them a call, and they can set something up for you.
And your lender should be able to assist with that too. And this is the problem that I think that we're starting to see, is that this program is not new, but it's not been used a lot in a long time, and a lot of the lenders that did them don't do them anymore. Bank of America is a good example of a lender that used to do a lot of them on a retail basis, and I think that they're completely out of that now. So you're left now with people that are trying to learn something new, and that's a tough program to learn new on. And particularly, Annie, if you're if your escrow is written as a 30-day escrow, and this is the challenge that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show as well, is setting expectations for everybody from day one, and everybody includes the seller. So the seller needs to be, in many cases, needs to be made aware. Hey, look at your house is unfinanceable or less financeable because of some of the issues that are going on here, and so this is why we're writing a contract for a 45-day escrow or a 60-day escrow, depending on how much extensive the work is.
You have to get the bank to go along with that too, and that's the struggle. And,
it is.
And they turned around and gave us 5 days to get all of our inspections done.
Impossible.
Well, I did it, but
nice.
It's stressful for everybody involved, and especially for the buyers who don't really know what's going on and never even heard of the program.
Yeah, and Annie, that's some of the things we need to work on too with the public and the banks, is just letting them know the reality of how this is going to work, because when there's those time constraints, it just creates a big mess. Everybody gets excited, overexcited, and it's kind of chaos all the way through the process. So.
Yeah. Well, just one quick question about those breached windows, because that's one thing on the top of my mind, because I know they're going to mention that. Is that something for sure that has to be fixed?
Define breached windows.
Are you talking about where the seal's broken on them?
Yeah, there's just water,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be required to be either repaired or replaced. And keep in mind, there's one of the things you can do, Annie, is a little secret. All these items, the items you're mentioning right there, don't have to be included in the 203K funds. You can also add an energy efficiency mortgage or EEM to the little add-on to that loan program. So you could do the windows under the EEM program, which means the borrower does not have to qualify for that amount of money for the windows, because the EEM portion of the loan, while you still have to make the payment, you don't have to qualify for that portion of the loan, and which is really helpful for a buyer who's right on the edge of what they qualify for. And then you say, and another $10,000 worth of energy repairs, you're like, whoa, that might throw them out. So the energy efficiency stuff portion of your loan, you don't have to qualify for it as far as on your debt ratio. So windows, heating and air units, front doors, insulation, those kind of energy-related things can be in addition to your 203K funds and not necessarily part of what you have to qualify to pay back, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't done one of those, so I forgot all about that.
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
Andy, we're gonna have to bring you. And Andy, I'll let you go. I know you have to go. I'll put her back on hold. I'll send out Andy some information. We're going to be having another. We held a fairly large. There was about 100 people.
110.
110 people at the Arden Country Club there. That was a week and a half ago-ish.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, for about 100 realtors that came down, and we did a 203K training seminar for the realtor community. And we're going to be trying to do another one, I think, in Placer County sometime in the next month or so.
The plan is we'll probably have it sometime the first 2 weeks of May.
Okay. And I think John was right on the point there. Now, and so was Annie. Annie's basically saying, "Hey guys, I'd love to ask for all the time in the world. I'm dealing with a bank, a bank who says, I don't care what you're doing or how you're doing it. Just give me an answer in 5 days whether you want to move forward or not." And it's the same damn banks that are, on one hand of it, they want all the time in the world to do origination. But when they're selling you, they're the seller of the property. They want things done in 5 minutes, right. And so it's and you're really talking to the left hand and the right hand at the bank. So it's very frustrating. But Annie's right. She has to work within the constraints the bank gives her, and this is the challenge that she has. She's got a client, who wants to buy a house and fix it up, and she's competing with cash buyers and conventional buyers and everything else too. So you have to try to mash your time frames into a very small window, but John's comment is right on point. You have to allow, go into it, allowing enough time so that we're not all in a rush, we're not all in a panic, we're not all screaming and crying because it's not done today. These things take some time, so we're going into a window of time when refinancing is going crazy. Okay, so the appraisers, all of them are busy.
Banks are busy.
Banks are busy. Title companies are busy. Lenders are busy. The staff is busy. So everything is busy, and although like I'm sure everybody else like that, we try to prioritize purchases and do all those things in advance. But the fact of the matter is, I call an appraiser and I'm the seventh in line. I'm the seventh in line, and you telling me I have to have the appraisal done in 5 days and I'm seventh in line doesn't change. Yeah. The appraiser doesn't care.
There's almost no way to rush close a 203K. There's just no way. You cannot do a rush 203K.
Because what we have got to, and we're going to continue, we're going to kind of come on this topic a little bit and then go off and come back a little bit at 2 hours because we're picking up and gaining listeners throughout the hours. So we'll kind of build on this a little bit. But Annie mentioned a very small segment of what has to be done. She's run an appraiser out there, run a home inspector out there, and the pest control. Those are the easy steps, right? Now you have to take, and now the appraiser is getting ready to come. Now you got to take all this data. And you got to take your borrower's wish list of things that I would like to do, because there's two different pots of wish lists. There's the pot over here that FHA says you must do these things because they're health and safety issues, and we won't make a loan if you don't do this. And then you've got John's wife over here who says, I don't care about the dry rot. I can't see. I mean, I do, but I don't see the dry. I have my wish list, John, and I want this and this and this. And somewhere in between the two is the reality, right? She wants a mansion. FHA wants just a clean stick house. And somewhere in between the two, we've got to mash up with what John qualifies for and what we can do and what the contractor can deliver on a reasonable price. So that's kind of, and that's where the time to get all these numbers mashed together. Oh, and by the way, Justine, when you put in $150,000 into this $200,000 house, it must appraise for $350,000 when it's done. Right. And that is another challenge because, as we know, and we talked about this last week too, there's a lot of houses. You look at a home appraisal right now that comes in, any home appraisal, I don't care which house it is, home appraisal comes in, there's a line item that says, cost to rebuild this. Okay, lot value, land value, and cost of improvements. There's a number. So let's use John, let's say the number is $300,000, cost to rebuild John's house. Estimated or indicated value by sales comparison, $240,000. What that means is a house that would cost you $300,000 to rebuild, you can buy for $240,000 because there's been a bunch of them. So that's the other little catch, if you will, is that John wants to build the Taj Mahal for his wife, but if it doesn't come in near value with everything else that's being sold, we can't do it. Right? Am I missing something there, Ken?
No.
Okay. So
no, that's pretty straightforward.
So hopefully you're getting a good deal on the raw house to begin with. So and the reason you're getting a good deal there is because 9 other people have passed on it because it needs new windows and all this other stuff, and it's got the 1970s kitchen, and everybody, my wife and Kent's wife and everybody else, we all walked by it and we said, I ain't buying that. So the prices come down, down, down. So finally John steps in and says, okay, I'll buy it at a discount because I'm going to go through 6 months worth of work on this place to make it, trick it out.
Yeah, one of the things I think that Annie has done very well is getting all of the players out at the property at the same time. Initially, do a quick walkthrough, kind of get everybody on the same page so we're all looking at the same playbook to kind of see what we're going to be working with.
Yep, we did. That music means we got to take a quick break. We did get a winner to our last quiz question, by the way. If we tax the billionaires or millionaires or whoever we're taxing, the Buffett tax, we raise 7 days worth of income to run the capital. So for 10 years worth of taxes, we're going to raise 7 days worth of federal government expenses.
Ouch.
I don't know what we're going to do next week. We're out of billionaires. Guess what? That leaves you and me, the rest of us. We're going to take a quick break. This is Talkin Money. We'll be right back.